Talk amongst yourselves.
Joel stole my notes. Okay.
Okay. Are we ready?
We're back.
We're back. We're back and we're live, and this is an exciting
Yeah,
time.
this is a fun part of the night, or afternoon. All right, so we are going to finish the formal part of our annual Ataxia conference with a special session for us. This is our annual awards presentation to members of our community that have made a particularly strong impact either this past year or over the course of many years. So we're going to introduce some people that are going to present the awardee, and then the awardee will have a chance to say a few words themselves about their work with NAF. So we are going to start. I'd like to invite Kyle Bilodeau to the stage. Kyle is NAF's Vice President of Operations and Community Services. You've maybe seen Kyle out at the registration desk, and she's going to introduce our first award.
Yeah.
Kyle.
Kyle.
Mike, why don't you come right in here?
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I have the absolute pleasure of introducing someone who has spent years proving that determination, heart, and maybe just a little bit of stubbornness can go a long way. Our Arnie Grotzmeicher Lifetime Achievement Award honoree, Mike Kammer from Downingtown, Pennsylvania. Now, Mike's story with NAF started the way many of yours did, with a deep dive into the ever-trusty Dr. Google. Back in 2005, he was looking for answers about a condition he'd never even heard of. What he found wasn't just information, it was a community and eventually a mission. He didn't jump in right away because, he had a wrestling team to coach, and as a Navy vet was probably still operating under that belief that rest is something that happens to other people. But by 2012, he joined his local support group, and as expected was soon all in, taking the helm as co-leader and eventually leader of the Central Pennsylvania Support Group. Because let's be honest, Mike was trained to lead. He spent 6 years in the Navy, serving on a ship out of Charleston, South Carolina, that traveled to the North Atlantic, the Mediterranean, and the Caribbean. And then after serving his final 3 years at Reno Naval Air Station, not far from here, he carried that no excuses, get the job done mindset into his work with NAF. And when it comes to fundraising, Mike doesn't just go for the easy lifts like his local walk and roll. No, he takes on the tough ones. If there's a long, grueling endurance challenge to be tackled, like the Tour de Chunk, more than 100-mile bike ride in the mountains, or the Florida 500-mile bike race, Mike has no hesitation signing up. And in 2020, when our joint mission baton was canceled, he didn't let that stop him. He set out on his own 27-mile walk of the Chesapeake Valley, which he told me was the physically hardest of all of them. Mike has also been a board member at NAF since 2017, which is where I've gotten to know him. But wait, there's more. He's also a tireless advocate at our Hill Days each year, and he volunteered also for the American Academy of Neurology Brain Health Fairs a few times to promote awareness. And I'm sure there's countless other ways that Mike has contributed that I don't even know about, like what you heard yesterday about mentoring Jack and his moving forward with the Ataxia project. So today, as we recognize many contributions, we're also grateful for the love and support of his family, his wife Larissa, and their children Christopher, Nicholas, and Sydney, who are in the audience today. Wave family. We know you're proud of him. Who are here to celebrate this moment with him. Mike, your dedication, your perseverance, and your ability to make things happen make us all proud. And so for all you've done and all I know you're going to continue to do, we are honored to present you with this Lifetime Achievement Award.
Woo-hoo.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, NAF. I'd like to thank my family, definitely, Christopher, Nicholas, Sydney, my lovely wife, Larissa, for supporting me along the way, and everyone else who supported my endeavors to fundraise for the National Ataxia Foundation. Actually, I'd like to take the journey back about 45 years to when I was a teenager in high school. It's a very trying time for everybody transitioning from teenager to young adult. And you have a lot of fears and doubts about yourself. And so during that time, I ran the I can'ts like all other young adults. But I had a wrestling coach came to me with a quote from Napoleon Hill. It stated, if you can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it. And I've used that pretty much all my life since. But when I run into the can'ts, it kind of, I kind of remember that. I take the short term out to conceive, believe, achieve. And yeah, I mean, can't to me is kind of like a period at the end of a sentence. It's final. It's something that puts a mental block that says something is unachievable. I know that with ataxia, there are obvious I can't. I can't ride a motorcycle anymore, so I ride a trike. It's not quite the same, but when you're going down the hill at 50+ miles per hour on a trike, it's pretty exciting. Also with I can't climb Angel's Landing Zion National Park anymore. So I climb at the local rock climbing gym. I strap in, harness in to a self-belay system, and I'm able to do that. I can't stand on a paddleboard anymore. So with the help of a handicap accessible launch, I am able to kayak at the local state park. Another can't is I can't wrestle anymore. The coach, I'm a middle school wrestling coach. I'm no longer a high school coach, but I can pass on to future generations my knowledge of wrestling. And I know that, you don't go through kind of reimagine what you can't do and change that into something you can do. And I know, like Kyle mentioned, me being on the board, I've noticed the last 8 years the changes that the NAF has gone from, it's a national organization, always has been, but over the last 8 years, it's changed into a global leader, more of an international Ataxia Foundation, and become a global leader in knowledge, research, and advocacy for ataxia. And lastly, when I want to go back to the quote that I was taught, in the National Ataxia Foundation's vision is a world without ataxia. The National Ataxia Foundation has already conceived that there will be a world without ataxia. And I believe it, they believe it, my fellow board members believe it, the researchers in pharma believes it, and I'm sure all of you believe it. But someday there can and will be a world without ataxia. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you. So we go
I
off.
think, yeah, you can head off the stage. That was great. All right.
Congratulations, Mike. I'd like to next call up Lori Sjogren, the Community Services Director of the National Ataxia Foundation, to present our second award.
Hey, everyone. I am so honored today to be with you all to be recognizing Cindy DeMint, who is a wife, mother, grandmother, and a fierce advocate of ataxia. Her 3 sons are diagnosed with ataxia. After their diagnosis, Cindy's daughter, who was not affected, encouraged her to join an ataxia support group. She joined that group and has been the leader of the Orange County Ataxia Support Group for the past 15 years. She served NAF as a board member for 8 years. Cindy is always bringing awareness to this rare disease wherever she goes. It has been her mission to find treatments and a cure for her sons and others suffering with ataxia. This is her passion and the reason she works so diligently to raise funds. Through hosting 13 annual ataxia walk-and rolls for NAF, starting their own family charity, Brothers on a Quest, and with the help of many, she has secured donations of $1 million. Right? So all those funds have helped the growth of NAF, grant funds for research, and raise awareness of ataxia. And her efforts haven't stopped there. She has advocated for years as part of the United Against Ataxia Hill Day, working tirelessly around the state of California, resulting in 2023 in a state resolution proclaiming September 25th as International Ataxia Awareness Day, and her recognitions from congressional, local, city, and county leaders are too many to list, and she isn't finished yet. And for all that and more, Cindy, it's my pleasure to award you with the Arnie Ritzmacher Lifetime Achievement Award in recognition of your many years of dedication to the mission of NAF and for providing support to so many impacted by ataxia. Thank you for all that you've done for the ataxia community.
Okay, thank you, Lori, for all those kind words. I am not the most technical one here, but I wanted to make sure that I stayed within my time. So, a Lifetime Achievement Award, really? I'm like, you'd think I'd have gray hair. I really do, you just don't know it. I dye my hair, so I'll let you know that. Arnie Grutzmacher was a moving force in the growth of the National Ataxia Foundation, and I'm very honored for this recognition. Our story of ataxia is similar to most. The years of doctor's appointments, tests, frustrations of the unknown, until we finally got the diagnosis of ataxia. Our 3 sons have a rare recessive ataxia called AOA2. They had only 25% chance of inheriting this horrible disease. Thank you to Dr. Perlman, Dr. Fogel, and UCLA for supporting us over all these years. Tim is now 42, Peter 34, and JT 32. And as Lori said, our daughter Amanda is not affected, and my grandkids will not have the disease. We discovered the NAF over 20 years ago. With their guidance, we learned how important it was to raise awareness, advocacy, and fundraise for this rare disease. This has taken us on a journey we didn't want to go on, but we have found so many blessings along the way. I've had the pleasure of serving on the NAF Board of Directors from 2017 to 2023, helping refine their mission statement and their vision statement, a world without ataxia. Back in the day, there were 5 staff members and 1 pharmaceutical company. Today, there are close to 20 staff members. And look how many sponsors that were here, as Lauren showed, that are partnering with us. There are clinical trials, there are modifying drug therapies, and there is hope. All of you out there have your own story. Keep telling it to anyone that will listen. Those of you that know me wondered, how the heck was she going to get through this in 3 minutes? But I did it. So thank you again to the NAF, to my family, my friends, my husband. I love you all. Some of you that are here tonight, let's keep up the good fight. Thank you.
Wow, this is getting emotional, isn't it? Okay. Off to our next awardee. I would like to invite Dr. Lauren Moore, NAF's VP of Research and Chief Scientific Officer, to the stage for our next presentation. Lauren. That was killer.
Hello.
Give him a
Hello.
There you go.
Oh,
You're good.
there we are. All right, so it is my absolute pleasure to be joined here today by Dr. Theresa Zesiewicz, or as her patients refer to her, Dr. Z. Dr. Z has dedicated over 30 years to improving the lives of individuals with movement disorders, and in particular, ataxias. She is currently the Professor of Neurology and Director of the University of South Florida Ataxia Research Center. Over her very exceptional career, she's authored over 120 publications that advance our understanding of movement disorders, and particularly ataxia. She has cared for over 100,000 patients during her career, thousands of those being individuals suffering from different forms of ataxia. She has also led countless clinical trials, and I think what's most important is in many cases she initiated those trials and made sure that they happened all on her own before there even were clinical trials in ataxia. I could spend countless minutes up here reading her many different titles, accomplishments, papers, but I think often some of our best compliments come from those who know us the best and those who have worked with us. In particular, I want to feature some quotes from some esteemed ataxia investigators who happen to be here this week. Sorry, a moment.
One of these pages has it. You're good.
All right, so I will start with a quote from Dr. Chip Wilmot from Emory University. He says, Dr. Z made a huge splash when she dove into the ataxia field many years ago. At that time, those of us specializing in ataxia had virtually no experience in trials. She brought her experience in trials in other movement disorders and immediately became a leader in the ataxia field. She has a get-it-done attitude that is invaluable to pushing forward and test possible treatments for ataxia. It is directly due to her that we are where we are in ataxia therapeutics. And if I can go on, I also grabbed a quote from Dr. Liana Rosenthal, who says, Dr. Z has always impressed me with her passion for finding better ways to treat her patients and her support and collaboration with her colleagues towards that goal. She is a great collaborator, using her expertise to improve upon what we are working on together. In addition, her individual contributions to ataxia research have significantly improved our care and management of those with ataxia. And finally, one more. I was able to get a quote also from Dr. Jeremy Schmaumann, who says, Dr. Zesiewicz has been a fierce champion for ataxia patients for decades and a pioneer in cerebellar translational neuroscience. She is a valued and esteemed member of the ataxia clinical and research community, whose many important contributions over the years have helped pave the way for the clinical trials that are now underway that are changing the landscape of ataxias. So it is my absolute pleasure to grant you the Dr. John W. Scott Research Achievement Award, Dr. Theresa Zesiewicz. Thank you. Hold it for you if you want to.
Okay. Thank you so much. Just 2 seconds here. I want to thank you for this award. I want to thank the National Ataxia Foundation, Andrew Rosen, the CEO, and the board of directors for this amazing award. And, you know, for those of you who are new here and don't know who John Shutt is, Dr. John Shutt. John Shutt was a brilliant physician and researcher. In the 1957, started the National Ataxia Foundation. Many of his family members had ataxia, and little did he know that he also carried the gene, and it stopped him from doing his research. But lucky for us, his nephew, Dr. Larry Shutt, continued his work, and he actually partnered with Dr. Orr and many other researchers to find the first gene for spinal cerebellar ataxia type 1, which is just a remarkable achievement. And after that, Lauren was just telling me that we're up to number 51 now, 51. So it's just amazing. I've had an 18-year career in ataxia and a 32-year career in movement disorders. And during this time, we have grown exponentially. The National Ataxia Foundation has made a lot of this possible, as well as the patients and their families. To continue our work, we need 3 things. We need, number 1, your support, families and caregivers. Number 2, we need to find the commitment and dedication of new physician scientists. We can't do it alone. And that's what you're doing with the ACT program. We're bringing in fellows to learn about ataxia. And number 3, we need more awareness, not only in the community, but in the government. We need more funding. And I would respectfully ask you to contact your congressman, Washington, your state senators, that we need more funding for ataxia and ataxia research. Okay, thank you very much.
Woo. Congratulations. You're up.
All right, next up, I'm going to call to the stage Joel Sutherland, the VP of Development for the National Ataxia Foundation. He's going to present the next award. Joel.
Man, are you guys getting tired of seeing me up here? I love seeing you guys. All right, hey, Pittsburgh, where are you? Come on, Pittsburgh. There we go. I knew we'd have them there. All right. Gives me a great pleasure and an honor to be here today to recognize someone who has made an incredible impact, not only on the lives of those living with ataxia, but also on our entire community. Today, we're here to celebrate Madeline Sam Gottschalk, an inspiring leader, a tireless advocate, and a champion for the National Ataxia Foundation. Sam's journey with the Ataxia Support Group in Pittsburgh started years ago, and from the very beginning, she demonstrated a level of passion, commitment, and leadership that's nothing short of remarkable. Under her guidance, the group has grown into a powerful force that has raised close to $250,000 to the vital support of the National Ataxia Foundation. Outstanding, Sam. Your ability to rally and mobilize our community is nothing short of extraordinary. You've not only created a support network that brings hope to so many, but you've also inspired countless individuals to take action and make a real difference. But let's be real. What would be a Pittsburgh leader without a little sports enthusiasm, right? Sam, you bring the same energy and drive to supporting NEF as you do to cheering on the Steelers, the Penguins, and probably the Pirates too, right? You know how to rally the troops, and they show up in a big way. Today, your friends and family, many of whom are here today, supporting you, wearing their black and gold, I wouldn't be surprised. They're a testament to the incredible support network you've built around you. It's clear. Sam doesn't just lead, she unites, she inspires, and she does it with a heart full of determination. On behalf of us, all of us here today, and the countless people whose lives you've touched over the years, it's my great pleasure to present you with the Outstanding Achievement Award for your incredible leadership, your unwavering dedication, and your tireless advocacy for the National Ataxia Foundation. Sam, we're all so lucky to know you, and we thank you for everything you do. Here's to you, to your amazing team, and to continuing the incredible work you've started. You've truly made a lasting impact, and we can't wait to see what happens next. Congratulations, Sam. Come on up. Woo! Hey, there you go. Bring this. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Leave with them.
Does this work or this one?
Yeah, there you go.
Either one. Hello. I'd like to thank Joel for nominating me for this award and for NAF for selecting me. My sister Mary Pat and I started running the Pittsburgh Walk back in 2017. Every year it gets bigger and better. There's nothing more than my family wants but to find a cure for ataxia, and that's why we do it. The biggest reason for our success has to do with our outpouring support from the Pittsburgh community and our wonderful family and friends. A group of them actually came here today to help support me receiving this award. I'd like to do a shout out to all that group because our success is not due just to me, it's due to the community and all of our wonderful family and friends. So here's to you guys. Thanks for everything you do. My family and the NAF community greatly appreciates all of you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. There you go. All right, thank you so much. That's great. All right.
Congratulations. All right, I have the privilege of bringing us home here with one final award. Bill Nye is a science educator, engineer, comedian, television presenter, inventor, keynote speaker, and New York Times best-selling author. Today, Nye is a respected champion of scientific literacy who has challenged opponents of evidence-based education and policy on climate change, evolution, and critical thinking. He currently serves as the CEO of the Planetary Society, the world's largest and most influential non-governmental space organization. When the specific hereditary ataxia that runs in Bill's family was identified 2 years ago, he decided it was time to use his voice to raise awareness of ataxia and the importance of scientific research in finding treatments and an eventual cure. He recorded 4 short educational videos, and due to his enormous social media following, he is a TikTok star. These videos have now been viewed nearly 2 million times. He has joined NAF on Capitol Hill to advocate for ataxia causes, including regulatory flexibility at the FDA. This is now his 3rd annual Ataxia Conference, and his willingness to give his time and passion to our cause is a really big deal. And while I can't go into detail quite yet, there is much more to come with Bill. Please join me in welcoming, in congratulating our favorite science guy, and dare I say, my friend, William Sanford Nye, who is receiving our Outstanding Achievement Award in recognition of his dedicated efforts in support of the mission of NAF. Bill. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Have a seat. We'll make this a little more of an informal chat, but any first thoughts? And here's your award, by the way. There's your.
Thank you. Thank you very much, all. This means the world to me. I don't know if you got this story, but my family's had ataxia since around 1630. I know, yeah. That's right. God, that looks just like Bill Nye that I used to watch on television. He's a lot older. Yeah, but it wasn't. It wasn't 1630. It wasn't. But that's where this guy Samuel Darby came to the colony of Maryland before the U.S. was the U.S. And he said to have walked with an unsteady gait. And so his last name was Darby, and my family has always called it the Darby Glide. And gliding sounds so happy and, you know, birds soaring over the lands. No, you fall down. And then the hilarious family gag, no swallowing. Anyway, we all grew up with this, and I claim that part of the reason my father lived through World War II, he was a prisoner of war for 4 years. He was captured on Christmas Eve, 1941. Part of the reason that my family has been able to deal with it is because of our sense of humor. And then you would say, oh, well, what happened to you, Bill? So this joke was presented to me by my father's older brother, my uncle, who had the Derby glide big time. If those of you who were here earlier, Mary Hogan's, my cousin, is now running our spinocerebellar ataxia 27B foundation. Woo, 27B, oh yes, 3 cubed. So if you, 2 years ago, it's still funny for me, and if you heard it before and you doze off, I understand. So this was presented to me as a true story. You can decide for yourselves. My grandfather, my uncle was, my grandfather rather, was in the Rotary, and they had a convention. I grew up in the city of Washington, D.C. There's a few of us. Anybody from Michigan, you all do this. In Washington, we go like this. And he took a train to Philadelphia, and he rented a tuxedo, and it came with a bow tie. And according to the story, he didn't know how to tie the bow tie, so he just went to the hotel room next door, because everybody was at the convention, you know. Can you help me? I don't know how to tie the tie. Yeah, the guy says, I can help you. I'm going to the convention. Lie down on the bed. So my grandfather is said to have lain on the bed, and the guy is supposed to have tied a perfect knot for the purpose of the joke. And of course, reasonably, my grandfather asked, thank you, why'd I have to lie down on the bed? Oh, I'm an undertaker. This is the only way I know how to do it. That's a good joke. It's pretty solid. I don't know if it's true, but I think about the experience of my father, and his symptoms came on sooner than his older brothers. Now, it's been the family understanding that it's progressive, that cerebellar ataxia gets worse and worse as you get older, very reasonable, but my father's was worse than his older brothers, sooner. And now research suggests strongly that what goes on in with your emotions affects your cerebellum, which in turn affects your motor skills. So it's kind of a revelation. And then furthermore, we're living at this extraordinary time. As there was this guy that worked for the government. This is back when we had a government. This guy, what was his name? Barack Obama, yeah. He famously said, if you couldn't pick, this is a science fiction thing, if you couldn't pick where on earth you would be born, but you could somehow, through some science fiction time machine, something or other, pick when you would be born, this would be the time. As screwed up as things seem to be in so many ways for so many people in parts of the world is better now than it's ever been for more people. And ataxia is part of that, to me. What's happening now in our understanding of the cerebellum, in my case, the little brain, the Klein brain, the case of my old boss, it must have been a very small brain, am I right? And so what's going on with brain research, what's going on with drug discoveries, what's going on with physical therapy, and then what's going on with genetic sequencing is changing the world. It is very reasonable that not my generation or the generation after me, but the generation after that, my grandnieces and nephews, will be able to get tested for our spinocerebellar ataxia and never pass it on. That is extraordinary. We'll be able to eliminate it, not right now, but in the future. And so this is just a fantastic thing that was never imagined until 2 years ago, when 2 different sets of researchers found our spinocerebellar 27B, and now we're able to identify the sequence. And then furthermore, Cousin Mary mentioned this earlier, what's going on with CRISPR? I can do this, CRISPR. Clustered, regularly interspaced, palindromic repeats, CRISPR, yes. Yes, is extraordinary. And we may be able to have gene therapies coming up very soon that will change the world. And so along that line, you know, my dad lived through this thing. My mother, I don't know if you got this story, was not from the family, the Darbys, with this condition, but she happened to be graduated from college in 1942. So she was recruited by the Navy right at the beginning of World War II, right, for the US, right at the beginning. And she was one of the code girls. She broke codes during World War II. Hey, Mom, what did you do during the war? Can't talk about it. Can't talk about it. She never said what she did. But these experiences, my mother in the Navy, my mother in the Navy, my dad, who was a civilian when this whole thing started, when he was captured, was later declared a Marine. They were patriots. They were very strong patriots. And they would remind us that in the US Constitution, Article 1, which is about the legislative branch, Congress, Section 8, which is kind of the miscellaneous of, we're going to have a postal service. We're going to have letters of marque to deal with pirates on the high seas. Also, Section 8, what they call Clause 8. Congress is to promote the progress of science and useful arts. And that, to me, is the essence of what's going on in ataxia research right now. So everybody, whatever your condition is with ataxia, whether you're, you know, as excited as we are to be 27B, I mean, how cool is that? That's a joke. Whatever other number you've got, your family history, your natural history, is contributing to the science of ataxia. We are learning more about this every week. So please, if you haven't had the ability, if you don't have a version of ataxia that is susceptible to testing, please get tested. Please report your family's natural history, because you will become part of this greater understanding of this thing. When I was growing up, it was just a mystery. Who passed it on to whom? Was it the mother? Was it the father? Is there an R in the month? Like, it was just a mysterious thing, but now we know exactly. So now, another remarkable thing happened to me. I went to Cornell University, and that was a result, I'm pretty sure, of a mistake in the admissions department, some sort of clerical error. But I was able to take a class from Carl Sagan, this famous astronomer. And then after I was graduated in 1980, he thought that public interest in space exploration was very high, but government support of it was not so high. And the same is true today of space exploration. But he started what's called the Planetary Society. One thing led to another. I'm the CEO now. But one of the other founders was Bruce Murray. Bruce Murray was the head of the Jet Propulsion Lab during the heyday of the Viking. Collecting data. They just turned off one of the instruments because the power is getting way down, almost 40 years on. So Bruce Murray famously was asked many times, why are you guys building this spacecraft? What are you doing? Your tax dollars are going to this thing, and you're going to send it out of the solar system. What is this all about? What are you going to learn out there? What are you going to discover? He said, we don't know what we're going to discover. That's why we're sending it. So you guys, this is the most exciting time in ataxia. I am honored to be here. I am honored to receive this award. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So we will close with, some of you may know that, excuse me, Bill recently received the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Woo! I'm wearing the little pin.
Which is a big
I'm
deal,
sure
right?
you've noticed it.
He was up there with Michael J. Fox and Magic Johnson.
Michael J.
people like
Fox
that.
got to meet me.
Bill,
And we took a
I'm being
selfie.
serious here now.
Well, we took a selfie, and his condition is genetic, and I think we're going to be able to work together. I think, as the old saying goes, Washington, D.C. is a small town based on trust and relationships. And, no, seriously. Well, they used to be trust. There really used to be. And so I think we can work together and expand our development base. If you guys are unfamiliar with nonprofits, development is another word for money, for fundraising, and we will be able to work together to make things better. But then, yes, I sat next to your good friend Magic Johnson. We had a nice talk.
Pretty cool.
Jane Goodall got to meet me. That's a joke, but it was really something, you guys.
But
It
you
really
got
was an
you got that
extraordinary time.
award because you have
Cousin Mary was
educated.
there. Yeah.
You have educated literally, generations of people about science. And I don't know if there's ever been a time in our country's history when that might be more important. So keep doing your work. Thank you for being here. Bill's going to be with us tonight.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're going to wrap things up. They need to do a very quick turn of this room. So if we can head out quickly, go up, get yourself all dolled up, put your best duds on. We'll see you at 7 o'clock for dinner and dancing. Woo. Thank you all.